Three. Hi, it's Leslie Buchanan here, and I am with Howard Vine, and Howard is going to take us through the slideshow presentation of the transition. Hi, Howard.
Hi, Leslie. Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. Lovely to see you after such a long time as well. So I've had a look at the TO's checklist for transition, and I've cherry picked some key items out of it for areas to concentrate on really and make sure they are correct. The first and very important one is the athlete header cards. Now this needs to be done well in advance of setting up transition, and really key that the names are checked for spelling, the numbers are correct, the flag and country code are correct, and any agreed logos that go with that event are included on that header card.
Howard, that's really good information. We're just still on the first slide, so if you wanted to click through the other slides. No worries, no worries. I just know that you put it in your slide presentation. Sorry. Okay, perfect.
Okay, apologies for that. Do you want me to just carry on? Yeah.
Whatever you want. Okay.
So then moving on to actually in the transition area, when we get the area handed over to us, is to ensure that mount and dismount lines are in clear locations and clearly placed and work with the flow of the venue. So we want a green mount line on the way out and a red dismount line on the way in. Really, really important that that's correct in the correct way round. Once the athletes are now into transition, it's really important that as chief transition, or if you get one of your assistants, is to photograph each athlete's bike rack and box to ensure that you have a record of how it's laid out. So if for example, and we've had this in the past, there's been high winds, quite often a helmet could blow off, and it's really important that the athlete knows when they get back to their bike, it is in the same location they put it in. So if it's on the right hand side of the bars, that's important, as opposed to the left hand side. And if you have a photograph of it, you can replace it and make sure it's correct. So once the event is in running, make sure that radio calls are sent out. So very important that the first athlete going out onto the bike is called, so that the chief bike knows they've got their first athlete coming out, and also who it is. And as important is to let them know the last athlete out, to ensure that they can pick up that athlete and stay behind them for the bike. Once again, when they come back in off the bike, it's equally important to ensure that the chief run knows who the first one is coming out and also the last one out, so they can keep behind that person right to the end of the race. So whilst the race is going on, it's very important that any violations are reported to your head referee. Preferably with a photograph or video evidence if it happens to be mount or dismount, and ensure that you photograph anything before you move it if it needs to be moved, so that we have that evidence to provide to the head referee to make their decisions. Okay, so just moving on to some of the principles behind those points. Very important is attention to detail. Well, I think talking about what we're doing with the header cards, it's key that you get those right. Nothing annoys an athlete more than arriving to find their name spelt wrongly or an incorrect country flag on their header card. Consistency in the way you deal with all your athletes and also your team, obviously, but ensuring that you're dealing with them in a standard and polite and reserved manner. Make sure you're observing what's going on, so that we've got bikes being placed in the right way round for T1, that we've got shoes being located within the regulation half meter from the bike rack, and ensure that athletes are not interfering with anybody else's kit. Clear communication, very important throughout. So with your mount dismount TOs, with the TOs you've got located within the transition to ensure that anything is picked up, and also very importantly with the referee. If you have a relay going on, then quite often there's a number of things happening at the same time, and it's very important that that referee knows exactly what's happening in transition. Last but not least is security of transition. This is one of the key areas that you've got a lot of quite valuable equipment there, and it's really important that you look after that and make sure that only the right people take it out. Okay.
Thanks, Howard.
So
that was really informative. Yeah, that was really informative. I appreciated that. Thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure, Leslie. Thank you very much.